Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy. And in this video, I thought I'd show you how I made my swap. I have a team meeting tonight. It's not my team, it's my upline's team. It's called it's called Kindred Inkers. And we meet once a month. My meeting is tonight and we swap, which means that I would take so many cards with me to the meeting, and then we'd swap and I'd come back with different cards. So I'd take 9, or I have 9 in this case when I finish my last one here, and then I would come home with 9 different cards. So this is my swap. Let me show you what we're using. We're going to use the Sending Smiles stamp set with the coordinating sending dies. And then for my card base, I decided to use these Tea Boutique card bases. Look how cute they are. They come in all the newest in colors. Looks like this. This is the one we're going to use. I only have one left of those. And they have the matching envelopes. Now they do have the Orchid Oasis. I already used it for my club, so I don't have any of those left. Look how cute, though. You can use these card bases and envelopes for just about anything. They're really fun and easy to decorate, and they're bright and colorful with beautiful envelopes. But that's what I'm going to use on my card base. Now, if you don't have those and you want to try something different, I also did one just to see what it would look like that looks like this. Now I just took a piece of thick basic white cardstock and I covered it with a piece of designer series paper. Now this happens to be the new in colors in the 6x6. Look how fun those colors. I love these colors. And I use this pattern right here. But they're just fun different patterns of designer series paper. And really you could use any one like that instead of like those card bases and envelopes that come pre-ready for everything. Let me put that back in there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to put my card over here so I can see what I'm doing. So like I said, I'm going to use the Starry Sky card bases and envelopes. I'm going to just set the envelope aside. Let's go ahead and fold on that score line. Now, I will be honest with you. Usually the pre-made card bases and envelopes aren't quite the thickness of cardstock that I like. I'm kind of a cardstock snob and I like them really thick, but I think after I layered all that on there and then stamped the inside, I'm even happy with the card base. Because like I said, I'm a little bit of a card snob and I like them a little bit thicker, but these are really nice. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use these fabulous frames. This is one of my new favorite dies. I love this one. I use it all the time, I think. But I'm going to take this one right here and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine to get some paper so I can stamp on. I need some pieces to stamp on. So I'm going to just take my plate number, my platform number 1, my plate number 2, adapts for dies, my really chewed up bad cutting plate, or number 3, and then I have just a scrap. You can see, oh no, you can't see, I'm not in the camera. There, now you can see that I've made my other swaps, and I'm going to take this and lay it and look at fits. So you can get 4 out of half a sheet of cardstock. And then we'll just run that through real quick. And we have that frame. Let's throw this in the trash. And then I'm going to run it through again. Let me get my frame out of there. There we go. I'm going to run that through again with just a scrap of basic white cardstock. So then I'll have that inside that I can stamp on for the inside of our frame. Okay, now we'll have to do some more die cutting, but we need to stamp first, so I'm going to set that aside. Like I said, I wanted to get this piece of basic white so I have something to stamp on. Now, let's do some stamping, and we'll come back to die cutting again. Put this back in my sleeve here. Okay, so the colors that we're going to use today, where's my ink at? Here we go, are Old Olive, Fresh Freesia, Mango Melody, that Starry Sky, and then some Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to start with the Old Olive. And I am going to use a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm going to bring my Stamparatus mat so I have a little bit of cushion, and it helps get a better image on those um, stamps that are more solid. So on this, I want to start with what I call the multi-leaf, I guess, and the green, the bigger stem. I guess that's what we'll call it. And I'm going to kind of put it toward the middle here so that it comes out to the side here. Something about there. I'm going to hold that down for just a second, let that ink sink in. Now this was on that scrap that we just cut out the center of the frame. We'll set that aside. And then on a large piece of basic white scrap, I'm going to take in that single stem like this. We're going to die cut this out and set that right there. Let that ink sink in again. Nice, and there we go. So then let's just go with our colors here. We have Mango Melody next, and I'm going to take this little flower. Ooh, I should have warned you. There is all kinds of stuff going on in front of my house. There's a church across the street that must be having an event, and then the landscapers are working on the front of our house, so it might be really noisy. And then those people get the dog next door barking, so you might have to just bear with my noises today. Okay, so I did the little flower. It's this one right here in the stamp set, and I did that in that Mango Melody. And then let's do, we have some fresh freesia here, and I'm going to take that bigger flower, or this one, and I'm going to stamp that in the fresh freesia here. Hold that down, let that ink sink in. And now that I do this flower, it dawns on me, I want to stamp on the inside of my card. So real quick, let's lay the card base down, bring back in that green and that single stem, and I'm going to stamp that right there. Let that ink sink in. Nice. And then that purple flower again, we're going to stamp that. Trying to make sure that the stem, I might get my head in the camera here, but I want the flower to sit on my stem. And since they're photopolymer, you can see through. Photopolymer. Try to say that on camera and not mess up. Okay, we're done now again. Green. Let's bring in that scratch paper again, and then the Flirty Flamingo. And one more flower, that's this flower right here. And we're going to stamp that in Flirty Flamingo. And you notice I'm trying to leave a little bit of room between my stamping, so I'll have room to place my dies on there. Okay, and then we close that up and bring in, last but not least, that Starry Sky. And I'm going to first stamp, here we go, I couldn't find it, that Sending. And I'm going to ink it up this way. Ooh, I've got lots of ink on the sides. I'll try not to go straight up and down, not rock my stamp so I don't get those edges. But I'm going to set this right here, and I think I might have to stamp it again because I missed a corner. We'll see. Nope, looks really good, like that. And then we have all the insides of those little flowers. So this, oh, and this one I'm going to wait. This flower here, I'm going to wait till after I die cut it. I just think it's easier to line that one up. But we have the little center, sorry, my head in the camera again, for that one. And let's do the inside of our card with the inside of this one. There we go. And then that itty bitty inside for that little yellow one. And just place that down right there. And now, let me make sure. For now, we have done, oh, we're going to do one more thing to our card base. I'm going to bring in this stamp set here, this limited edition. I want to stamp this handcrafted from the heart on the back of my card. And I want it in a pretty light color so you don't see it through. It's a red rubber stamp, so I don't need my matte anymore. And I am going to bring in that fresh freesia. Woo, that was close. It would have flipped. I would have got all over my card. Okay, thank goodness. And we're going to just lay that down. Although, there we go. Can you see that? How cute. I love that on there. It's the first time I've used that stamp from that limited edition. It has all of these. So, first of all, if you sell your cards, you need to put the Stampin' Up! Copyright on the back of your card, but then when you can add those nice words, you know, made with love or hand stamped, it's just a fun to put on the back of your card and let people know that you made the card yourself. Okay, now we're done with our card base again. I think we have all of our pieces. Whoop, not this piece. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to cut all of these out. Now, if you notice on my card, you notice that I didn't stamp this piece. I've discovered that it's easier for me to cut this out and then stamp it, maybe because it's photopolymer. I was always taught that you stamp first and then cut, but since photopolymer came along, and when I say photopolymer, I just mean the clear stamps, I think sometimes it's easier to stamp after you've die cut those pieces. So we're going to cut that first and then stamp it. So I am going to bring in some washi tape. I'm going to try to get rid of all my stamps here and give me some room to work. There we go. Washi tape. We're going to start with this die right here on the sending. And now I find, because these are really close or accurate, I'm going to say, that if I kind of slide it around, you get it so it cuts it out better. It has a better border around the whole thing. And this one has a little dot right here, if you can see it on the G. And when you see the ink through the dot, you know you have it lined up where you want it. So I'm going to just tape that down right there. And you notice I tried to tape it to the cardstock that doesn't have the stamping on there, just in case so that washi tape doesn't ruin or tear my cardstock. Okay, then for this one, we're going to line this one up. Get me another little piece of washi tape here. Okay, now this one I've noticed, I was surprised they didn't put the dot like they did on the G up here or down below, but if you slide this one down into place and then make sure the stem is right here and see how you can see, well, maybe you can't see on camera, but that's how I worked to get this one just right, like that. And if you're going to do all that time to do the stamping, we want our die cutting to be good too. Then, oh, there goes my washi tape. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, and then that little flower here. Which one is it? This one. We're going to just rotate it till it goes into the spot that looks good. Like that there. Again, I'm going to kind of slide it around so that I don't see any border on there. Whoop. And then tape that one down. Okay. And this probably is the most tedious part, but I think it's well worth it. Here again, I'm going to just kind of slide it around until I don't see a border, and then tape it where the stamping is not. There we go. And the last flower is this one right here. There we go. Now I think that looks pretty good. I should have good luck with my die cutting. And then we'll need this piece right here too to do that greeting. Now, mine's a little bit warped, so I'm just going to bend it back here. Get some of that. There we go. Okay. And set it there. Let's bring in the die cut machine again. And the same plate sandwich that we had before. Lay our cardstock on there. Make sure that one's where we want it. So I've noticed too, if you try to tuck this under, sometimes it smashes your dies. So I would lay your paper on there where it's, and this just lays on top without having to tuck it under there. And I don't know if that makes sense, but some of you will understand what I'm talking about. So it doesn't move your dies and you get that nice die cut. Okay, let's see how we did here. So far, so good. Look how good that flower turned out. This flower just needs a little stamping on it. This turned out nice. We just need to do a little stamping. Look, I totally die cut that the wrong way, so we'll have to do one more of those real quick. darn it. And here. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp that little flower again, since I didn't have it right on there at all. Fine, here it is. Stamp him. And our starry sky. That down in the center. Let's see if I can get it right this time. I thought I had it. Oh, see, I see where I did wrong the last time. There we go. Nope. Just keep turning him until he looks right there. Should have paid better attention last time. Let's move all these other dies, get them out of the way. And run that through again. Thanks for being patient with me. But I guess on my videos I can show you what not to do, what to do. Okay, get the cutting pad. Now I should have my flower cut out right. And all my pieces and parts. Yep, look how good he looks now. So let's go ahead and stamp the rest of those. Bring back in that mat, because this flower here, we need to stem the top of him. And like I said, I think this one's just easier to do it after it's die cut. And I'm going to kind of hover around and add that little purple top. Look how cute that is. And then let's go ahead and stamp on this one. Now on this, because it's white cardstock, it's good that I have a dark base, and that way I can see where my cardstock is. Or a background, not a base. I guess I have a dark background. I'm going to kind of line up that A and that O with the little grooves on the die cut. Drum roll. Yeah, look how straight I can get that when I do it after it's been die cut and not before. Okay. Now it's time to put everything together. Okay, bring in first, this is a piece of vellum. This is 5 inches by 3 3/4. Now, if you want all the measurements, you can go to my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. All the measurements will be on there, as well as the list of supplies. I'm going to bring in a piece of grid paper, and this way I can get my frame straight on my vellum cardstock. So with a little bit of tape runner here, I'm going to just put some tape on the back. And then I'm going to come in like this and see how I can use that grid paper, counting over my squares from top to bottom and using the lines to get it straight. And that looks pretty good like that. Then with a little bit of liquid glue, I'm going to glue that frame right here on top. A little bit of liquid glue goes a long way. And looky how cute. Now there's our frame. Okay, let's go ahead and put this onto our card base. Now you can turn it over and see your adhesive goes behind your frame, and that way you won't see it on the front of your card. I'm going to try to get this centered straight on the card front, and look how cute already. It's coming along nicely. There we go. So then with this one's garbage, but the little flower here and the flower, oh no, and this one. That's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to take this stem here and put a dimensional so that the sticky part is up like this, and then just add this flirty flamingo flower right to the front. Then with a little bit of liquid glue down here at the bottom, remove that backing. I'm going to glue down the stem down here toward the center, and then just have my flower off to the side. So it looks like that. Is that not adorable? Let's put some dimensionals on the back of this flower and this flower. And then set this right there. And this little flower tends to have a big space right there that's perfect for the stem, just like that. Okay, let's put our sending on there. Now I'm going to just use some mini dimensionals onto my sending. And they fit really nicely on these little spaces here. Just two more. Let me use my take a pick tool to get those backs off. Whoop, almost bent my... We'll take those. And I'm going to kind of center the D with the stems here. Right about there. And then we'll put some mini dimensionals on the back of my tag. Okay, there we go. And place this right down here. Making sure that that G is on the front side. There we go, about like that. Now, if you ask me, it has 3 little blank spots right here. I'm going to bring in those brass butterflies and just take a big butterfly up here at the top. And I'm going to kind of angle them all the same way and kind of make a triangle with my little butterflies onto my card. So it looks like that. Let's see, we have the back all stamped, we have the inside all stamped, and it's all good to go. I wonder what I did with my envelope. Here's my envelope. And then last but not least, I'll just place it in a little clear bag like this. And there we go. Now I have all of my swaps ready to go to my meeting tonight. Alrighty, so I'm hoping Friday I will share the swaps that I got tonight. I have a ton of swaps, and I know I told you that I was going to go down to 1 video a week, but this time I'll be back Friday to show you all the swaps and cards that I have that people have sent me, or like I said, that other people have made. I like to share those. So I'll see you back here Friday, probably about the same time, about 11 o'clock. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back then soon. Bye-bye.